Welcome to the club, 'cause you're that kind of nerd.
Hello, and welcome to the club that is That Kind of Nerd, a show where we talk about the nerdy things that we're passionate about, and then we judge each other on what we bring to the table. I somehow won the last episode, which seems like a fluke, and I am your host for this week, CJ Mellon, joined by the incomparable Josh Burns and Brian Thornton.
What up?
I got a brand new pair of roller skates. You got a brand new shoe. Anyway.
All right. Well, for those of you who are new to the show, unlike Brian, I will explain to it. We will bring topics to it, and because I am the host, I get to decide who's had a good conversation where the points are arbitrary, but they're the way I feel. And at the end of the show, the winner with the most points will be the host next week, which means you won't hear me hosting for quite a long time, as it should be, right? Because let's face it, everything of me kind of says not.
Remember when you used to host every week? Ugh,
I do. Yeah.
Gross.
I know, right?
This is much more fun.
Since. This is much
We've
more
grown. Remember when I refused to host for like a year or two? That was gross too.
Now, I'm sorry. I'm only here to do the topics. Like that's I've prepared my statements, and that's it.
I had to grow. Okay.
Aw, look at you now.
Virtual working has done wonders for how I feel about my voice over internet.
All right. Well, before we jump into the slew of topics, I have an amuse bouche, if I may. I was listening to another. I was listening to another show, and then I took this topic to real life, to which it did nothing but anger me. So I figured I would come here because, again, nothing is definitive until Josh Burns and Brian Thornton weigh in on a topic, which is
So you stole a topic from another podcast?
You're damn right.
I'm just making sure we're on the same page.
What is the definitive order of things that go in your pockets? I.e., your phone goes in the left pocket, the right pocket, your AirPods go where, your wallet goes where, your keys go where.
I think, doesn't it depend on which hand? Like,
I feel like it depends on which hand is dominant.
So we can say
let's do this in terms of dominant and non-dominant.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Non-dominant, dominant, and then you got your back pockets.
Correct. So let me start off with the fundamental question: does the wallet belong in the back pocket?
Are you asking? In what order do you put them in your pockets?
He's asking which goes where.
For example,
okay, because that's not how he started the question. So
no,
I just want to.
It's not.
No.
See, once again, CJ says the thing means a different thing, and then Brian interprets.
Correct.
That's how this
Thank
works.
you, Brian. You know what? 5 points for interpreting.
Woohoo!
Right.
He means what goes in what pocket.
Correct.
And I have a system, but I will say this, and this may be controversial. Wallet does not go in the back pocket. I spent years with it in my back pocket. I don't know if that is the cause of my minor scoliosis, but who knows? It could be. But I don't put it in the back pocket anymore. I don't believe it is comfortable, especially I don't care how thin your wallet is. It's not comfortable. But I put it in.
I don't carry a wallet.
Josh just carries a money clip and Apple Pay. That's all he has.
Josh is like, if I can't pay Apple Pay
for his numerous $100 bills.
I have an Apple Wallet MagSafe attachment, so my wallet goes on the back of my phone.
Does that actually work? Like, is that a good one? Like, are you caseless then? Do you have no case and all you have is the wallet on the back of the phone?
I have a case, and then the MagSafe wallet goes right here.
And it works, because I've seen very...
What do you mean it works? Does
I've
it
seen
work?
mixed things. A second you put it in your pocket, it goes... Wah!
No. What are you talking about? No.
The second I think the wallet shoots off the back of your case.
Stop using cases with cheap knockoff MagSafe.
There you go. I think for argument's sake, then, Josh, you would say, and probably agree with me, my wallet and my phone go in the same pocket.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
My God.
Wallet and phone in the same pocket, non-dominant side.
No. I will say my phone goes in my non-dominant side pocket. I don't carry a wallet, and that's important to note. Forget. I don't carry the MagSafe wallet often either. That the wallet is in my the wallet is I think in a backpack.
It's in a lockbox that's disguised as the Count of Monte Cristo.
I'm not sure which one. The MagSafe attachment stays on my car. It stays in my car because that's where my license is. And I don't carry any identification or credit cards or anything.
So phone goes in dominant pocket.
Non-dominant.
So for non-dominant, and for those of you wishing to steal Josh's identity, now you know where to go.
Yeah, get into my car. Good.
Good luck getting into his car. But
now, what about your AirPods, Josh? Do you carry like an AirPods Pro or anything in your pockets? In your backpack. In your backpack. So you Josh Lyman most of your life.
But Josh does, like, the other thing is you do a lot of traveling sometimes. So, like, you live that backpack life. If you're going out to Red Robin on Tuesday, you're not carrying a backpack.
Why do I need my AirPods to go to Red Robin?
You never know. I mean, I don't know. Why would you need your AirPods to go to Red Robin?
This is a really good conversation for my kids because they seem to carry their AirPods everywhere.
I carry my AirPods everywhere.
And also always have one in.
Oh, not that.
I don't do that. Not unless I'm on the phone. But what I will do is, like, if I go grocery shopping, if I go to Target, I don't want people coming up to me and be like, "Hi, can I help you?" So I put my AirPods in. I'll listen to a podcast.
Coming up to you offering to help at Target, do you?
Not really, but still, you know, I don't want anybody mistaking the amount of times people mistake me for a Target employee. Sure, I don't want people bothering me, so I put in the freaking air. I don't need to be wearing my guy. Once upon a time, I was in there in my Best Buy uniform.
Oh yeah, that's happened to me too.
Blue shirt.
Yes.
And people were like, "Excuse me, can you help me find this?" No, I'm in a blue shirt.
It's red. Red is the
primary.
See, Josh
color.
and I went to the same Catholic high school, which our uniform was blue polo khaki pants, and you walked into a Target and people would still be like, "Do you work here?"
Well, I mean, same thing. I used to work at Blockbuster. We all know that. And again, blue shirt, khaki pants.
Walk into a Best Buy, people also ask, and I'd be like, "Yeah, I'll help you out, whatever."
Well, yeah, I mean, I get it. I got it then because I was in a blue polo.
Right.
I also avoided going into Best Buy with my blue polo on for that reason. I would have like a black undershirt on or something. Anyway, we're in the weeds. The fact of the matter is this.
Non-dominant side is where the phone goes. My key fob for my car goes in either the dominant side pocket or the little change pocket the jeans have. The little,
right.
Yeah.
Yes. See, that pocket is reserved specifically for me for my AirPods. That is where my AirPods live.
That makes sense to me. That's where my key fob goes.
Right. That's where they go.
I don't normally put the AirPods in there, but I think I will now. That's a good idea.
What do you put in there?
What do you put in there right now?
Nothing.
Nothing?
No, it's an unused pocket.
Since the iPod Nano, Steve Jobs has showed you what that pocket is for. Apple products.
Yeah.
I never watched the freaking keynotes before I met you two. So
it's a useful pocket.
My dominant pocket has my AirPods and my car keys in them. You don't put the car keys in the same pocket as the phone because your screen can get all scratched up.
What keys?
I have keys. I still have keys to get into my home. I have a fob, but I have keys to get into my home.
Wait, what? I was about to say, what about your house?
Nope.
No?
No.
He has like a thumbprint thing.
I mean, I've got the smart unlock thing too with my touch. So yeah,
Josh, I don't know if you follow Chip Girl on TikTok, but that's Josh too. He has an NFC chip in his wrist.
Listen, here's the thing: when anyone in my family, needs to get in the house, they put in their code or whatever. I don't even know how it's controlled because when I walk up to it, it opens out of fear.
Right. Oh shit, he's back. Just open.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I carry none of that. No, I have no keys. I'm not even sure where a key is to my house. I have no idea.
Again, if you want to steal Josh's identity, you just need 2 pieces.
It's not like it's not locked. It's always locked. It's
right.
Just I don't know where the key is. Well, if Skynet takes over, I'm completely screwed. Truly.
All right, yeah, because for me, being a left-handed person, I still break the convention. I put my phone in, well, I guess not. I put my phone in my left pocket, my wallet in my right, and then my little change pocket is where my AirPods live. And then I do the keys on a carabiner thing on my hip, and then sometimes...
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry, is this 2006? Do you have the chain on your wallet that's like hooked to your belt loop and goes around?
I tuck that into the back pocket of it.
You keep the keys on the belt loop that is opposite the side the phone holster.
Correct, actually, yes. It is on the right side. It's on my non-dominant side. That's where my keys live.
When I was a retail manager, my keys were on my dominant side,
Right.
belt loop, right, which was the opposite side that my wallet lived on when I was living that life.
Yeah. This is a habit from college that never stopped. This is I will be that old guy who still has the key. That will be my thing.
No,
I will have that until I die. Key until I get the fob thing, right, Josh? Until I no longer need a physical key.
You look, most of the time, all I need to leave the house is my phone and my key fob, and I'm good. Nothing else goes in my pockets. If I have the need for cash, it goes in my dominant side pocket, and that is the only thing that goes in that pocket is cash. Nothing else ever goes in that pocket, ever.
So since I don't live the privileged life that Josh lives and I am a peasant, I carry a whole bunch of shit with me still. The wallet and the phone, non-dominant pocket, the AirPods and the car keys and the house keys in the dominant pocket. And that's really all I carry with me on a regular basis. If I have glasses, if I need to bring a pair of glasses, if I don't leave them in the car, that's usually like in my back pocket. Like I have a glasses case.
Wow, that's a risk.
I'm not sitting on them. It's usually because like we're going to a walk around the park and I need my sunglasses, and my sunglasses are prescription sunglasses, so they're not like transitions or anything.
See, I try to avoid anything in my back pocket if at all possible. Like even like the keys from the hip are going. It's just like a little bit of it's tucked in. It's not the whole thing. All right, but I am glad to hear at least because there are heathens who put car keys.
Your amuse bouche took up 15 minutes of my life, by the way.
Because
Josh has to sit here from his ivory fucking tower and judge me for carrying car keys around.
You know what? 2 points to Josh for living in an ivory tower, and then 1 point for Brian for living like a peasant. So enjoy that one. All right, well, with that, I will now open up the floor to the rest of the show and the rest of the topics. I do also have one if you want me to go first again, but Brian, Josh, I'll turn it over to you.
You're the host. You get to choose who goes first.
Well, thank you for taking my amuse-bouche. Brian, your topic first. Love to hear what you got for this week's episode.
Sure, because we talked about this ahead of time and a topic you wanted me to bring to the show. Oh, and right. I said, fuck that, and so I brought a different topic.
Ooh.
Attaboy.
So, mostly because the topic that CJ wanted me to bring to the show was also stealing from another podcast that I did not want to do because I'm not a douchebag. So I figured, well, let's at least wait a few weeks.
-2.
That's fine. Let's at least wait a few weeks until like there's some separation, and then I'll steal a topic from another podcast. But I did come across an article that spoke to me, and it's funny because I just mentioned this. I used to work at Blockbuster, as you all know. As we all know, Blockbuster is no longer for over 10 years now. It's been quite a while since Blockbuster has been a thing that has existed.
Correct.
Would you be interested to know that there has been an update to the Blockbuster.com website?
I have heard of this. I've actually seen the article you're probably referencing.
So I saw an article that said there's an update. Now, my question will come afterwards. I have two questions, actually. But if you go to Blockbuster.com right now on your desktop, what does it say, CJ?
I'll pull up the exact one. Helps if I spell Blockbuster correctly.
Yes, I know it's been a while. It's BLOCK.
Been a while. We're working on rewinding your movie.
It says we are working on rewinding your movie. If you go on your phone, it says be kind while we rewind. I kind of like this one better, but anyway.
If I go on my fridge, does it say something different?
I don't think so. Anyway. This is stirring up a fervor of all sorts of people trying to figure out, is Blockbuster trying to make a comeback? What does this mean? Are they revamping that? Are they going to take the fact that Netflix is losing billions of dollars right now and take advantage of that? And I will say, as working for the company previously, they're not that smart. But what I do want to talk about, we're not going to sit here and speculate. There's too many people already speculating what this means. And if Blockbuster comes back in some sort of way, cool, great. It's never going to be the way you used to be. So you're still going to miss certain aspects. And that's kind of what I want to talk about. I have two questions for you. And I have two questions because I realize both of these may not have an answer. So in that case, you can answer the other question. You get to choose. It's a choose your own adventure topic. All right. You can answer one, you can answer both, whatever you would like. But here are my questions. Question number 1. Do you have any favorite Blockbuster memories in general from when you were a kid, when you were shopping there? For me, it would be when I was working there as well, what have you. And then if you don't, which not everybody does, and I'm completely okay with that, what defunct business or company do you wish would make a comeback? Proceed.
I'll say the Blockbuster memory that comes up for me is I was maybe 15, 16, I think. I don't know. My favorite Blockbuster memory was one time I went through Wendy's drive-thru and got myself some chicken nuggies, and they had a scratch-off win-a-thing from Blockbuster, and I won a year's worth of movies. I could get one movie a week for free via Blockbuster. So, as you know, the Blockbuster tradition...
Same parking lot.
Same parking lot. That is correct. In the exact same parking lot. Yes, Josh, right. You know exactly what I'm talking about now.
Yes, I do.
As you know, if you were part of a bigger family going to Blockbuster, it's a family affair, and it becomes a...
And it took like all night.
It becomes a democracy, but then also just to go quickly into a dictatorship the moment that there's problems there. But the beauty of this was, if there was a dispute, my dad would just look at me and said, I mean, he's the one who won the movies, so what are we watching? And I got to basically be the tiebreaker vote. I got to be the deciding vote. And as we all know, I'm insufferable. So I used that to my evil wills to get my brothers to agree to ridiculous terms and get what I want. So my favorite thing is winning a year free of movies with Blockbuster.
So you bartered free movies to make your brothers do shit for you?
Or like, hey, I want to play, GoldenEye, and I don't want you to use Oddjob, and da-da-da-da. Yep, they would agree if they would get their movie. It would be a bidding war. What will you give me to let me pick your movie?
Wow.
And they would go along with that instead of forking over the $5.
Right.
Like,
you've seen how cheap I am, correct?
Yes.
That's an inherited trait. That's not exclusive to me.
Or more importantly, someone would agree to, let's say, hey, I want to play GoldenEye, you can't use Oddjob, and they would agree to that, and then they would actually do it? Because once I have my movie and we're out of Blockbuster, there's nothing else you can do to enforce that.
Listen,
but then it never happens again. Like,
right. Sure.
Fool me twice, you're not going to fool me again.
I mean, it is CJ, so
it was more like fool me thrice,
3 or 4. Yeah.
Oh, you said you would, son of a bitch! Hey man, I really want to get Mortal Kombat. All right, let's do it. Hey, you said you Oddjob. What the hell? Right, that was my life.
And to your point, I'm assuming you inherited your cheap ways from.
Oh, this is a hereditary thing. We've all slowly grown out of it. Hence the $700 litter box I just bought the other day.
That's worth every freaking penny. As someone who used to live with cats,
it cleans itself, right?
It does.
Yeah, totally worth it.
I still scream every time I get the notification about it.
It'd be worth it at double the price.
All right, but and then for defunct business, I don't know. I'd have to think about it because, as we know, I love defunct businesses. And
think about the defunct business. The Blockbuster thing, same Blockbuster, CJ.
That's correct.
Same Blockbuster, and I think, and I do for sure have fond memories. But not it wasn't it's never a family thing. And it was probably I was a little older. 18 probably, and it was just like me and a buddy would go and pick out movies for the weekend because me and these two guys generally would hang out all night Saturday and Sunday, right? After work, all night, just watching movies and whatever. So we would always grab one UFC event. This was, back in the very, very early days of UFC. I mean, very early.
Mm-hmm. Where like a month after the pay-per-view, they would release it on a VHS.
Yeah, like UFC 1 through 6 type, like early. Right. So we would always grab one of those. We would always grab a martial arts movie. I've watched and I mean, most, I'm talking like subtitles, whatever. Always grab something heisty and a video game, right? So it was like 4 or 5 things that we would get. And man, we just play video games, watch movies, eat pizza, and hang out the entire weekend. It'd be awesome. And like that's no other responsibilities, right? The next day you'd wake up, you go to work, and you do it all over again.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
you have nothing else to do, right? Except for go to work and hang out with your friends.
Youth.
When I was when I was a teenager, obviously I worked at Blockbuster, so it was I could do two things at once. I was working, and then I would rent a whole bunch of stuff, and then rinse and repeat type of thing. I could probably fill an entire episode with all of the memories and things and crazy shit that has happened to me while working at Blockbuster. Childhood memory, I have a bunch as well. We used to go there every single week. We used to sing the Blockbuster jingle on our way there, the Blockbuster video. Wow, what a difference.
There was a jingle?
I was just say, I had no idea that this existed. And
Nope.
You guys are just as old as me, if not slightly older, Josh, and slightly younger, CJ. You're telling me you don't remember the Blockbuster jingle?
Nope.
No.
I wasn't aware there was one. No.
By the way, I was 1 year old when this jingle was created, hence why I
was 3, but it was still a thing in the early 90s when I was going every day. There was two other big things I remember exclusively for me. They had a video game tournament at Blockbuster, the Blockbuster I used to go to that I participated in, and I got pretty far. Not far enough to put it on my resume or anything, but that was fun. I believe we played the Judge Dredd for the SNES and Genesis in one of the rounds, which is where I lost because that game is awful. And then there was they used to do this thing every year where they would have like these whole stations set up, and you could take your kids there, and they would put you in front of like a giant like kind of ruler thing, so you could get your height, and they would ask you personal questions. It was called Kid Print, so that you as a parent, you had a VHS in case your child went missing. Here is this thing that you could give to the cops, and you had age, name, height. And then, like, hey, what's your favorite sport? The thing they can play on the
news, right?
Yeah, the thing that...
It's because when we were kids, we were told every day we were going to get kidnapped.
You are going to... Sweet spots!
That's right. When it happps, not if.
Not if. When?
This is 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Right.
So those were two big childhood memories of mine. I want to share one specific memory from when I was working there. It's actually happened I worked at Blockbuster from the moment I turned 17, which was in 2003, until pretty much it went completely belly up. I was closing a Blockbuster, not like closing for the night. This was like legitimately one of the last stores I closed up shop for good in.
Right.
And I was working in a very small Blockbuster, and especially during the end times, there was nothing to do. But even like, especially during the end times, because you couldn't rent anything. You were just pricing stuff, changing signage, keeping things organized, and ringing people out and stuff. And a group of ne'er-do-wells or hooligans, youths came in and making a mockery of themselves and being total asshats. I don't know where they were coming from or what they were doing, but they were goofing off, and, me and the girl who were working there were like, oh, great, here, whatever. Just keep an eye on them, make sure they don't freaking just put their head through a wall or something like that. One of these morons pushes the other moron into a display table that I had worked for hours putting together. Completely knocked over the table. And then, because they were such upstanding citizens, they bolted out the door. As you do when you are a ne'er-do-well.
As you do, yeah.
Right. So I cleaned it up and everything, and that's not the funny part. Fast forward 5 years later, my best friend Melissa divulges to me that, I was in a Blockbuster one day, and I pushed Ty into a table.
No!
And we knocked over the entire table. I'm like, that was you son of a bitch! So, I met Melissa well before I met her. She was a ne'er-do-well who ruined my Blockbuster. But anyway, I thought that was a funny story. So while I was talking, did either of you think of perhaps a defunct business that you would like to see come back? And no, CJ, coin is not one.
It is not one of my terrible projects, although don't think for a moment coin didn't go through my brain. Here, I'll go first because I have no points in this episode. Mine is not a particular business. It is a category of business, which is I would love to see the discount theaters come back. The $2 movies. Right, the ones that you're like, I don't know if we'll go to theaters. I don't know if we'll go to that neighborhood anymore, but the movie's $2 and the popcorn you can bring a trash can and they'll fill it up for you. Like, let's do it. I miss those a lot. There was a theater that we used to go to that was the discount theater that had a bring your own bag popcorn night, and it's like for $5 if it's a vessel, we'll fill it. You want to bring a trash can, a trash bag? Yeah, that's fine. We'll fill it up. $5. And I miss those theaters because they were exactly what you thought they were, right? They were as clean as you think they are, but it was a lot of fun to go there and just go see a movie together as a family. And with the way that movies are getting now, it'd be great to get a little competition to the big guys so they start being good. So I miss the discount theaters.
I do miss discount theaters. Josh rolled his eyes, so I wanted to jump in before we get Josh's opinion on that. There used to be a $2 theater, a $1.50 theater, and the dollar theaters where I used to live, and obviously they're all closed up. Not all of them were as grimy as you're making.
Varying degrees of disgusting.
Varying degrees of griminess.
The $2 was at least better than the $1.
But here's what you did, and this is why I love them. You would go to your AMC's, your Regals, and you would pay full price to go see the newest Fast and the Furious movie. Correct. But then, like, if I liked it so much, I wanted to go see it again, you would go to the dollar theater when, like, you wait a couple weeks, it was in $1, $1.50, $2 theater. You went and saw it a second time or a third time. Like, I was able to see multiple movies several times in the theater because of that. Now, the demand for that is down because back in the day, it used to take like a year for something to go from theater to VHS. So if you wanted those repeat viewings, that's where the second string theaters came in. But I maintain that you could still do a dollar theater today. You just do a simultaneous release on streaming. And still, if people want to go see the theater experience, you could still do that feasibly. Yeah. But Josh rolled his eyes. I want to hear why. Is it because of the griminess? Is it because of the dirtiness?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Because Josh and I went to the same dollar theater. Josh and I also went to the exact same dollar theater, so he knows the level we're talking about.
I went to that theater exactly one time, and I never went back. I mean, so gross. So gross.
There used to be one, and I'll mention this one because you guys are familiar with the area. There used to be one in the Whitehall Mall called the Plaza Theater.
I believe that 100%.
And that most certainly, I would say, was probably the grimiest. But also, another area you're familiar with, CJ, there used to be a $1.50 one in that shopping center right in front of where you used to live in Trexlertown, which was not grimy at all. And in fact, it had the X-Men arcade game cabinet in there. So me and my brother, I remember vividly going to see Matrix for the second or third time. And before the show, we played like the X-Men arcade game for like a half hour before the movie started. It was awesome.
It's funny you mentioned that shopping center. In that shopping center, when I moved in there in 2011, was a Blockbuster. That was one of the last remaining ones that I knew of in there.
That was the last remaining one for a very long time.
Yep.
That's actually the one where when I got hired, my brother worked at that Blockbuster, and I got trained at that Blockbuster before I moved to the Blockbuster that I eventually would run for 7 or 8 years.
So, Josh, I know you do not mourn the death of the dollar theater. You're quite okay with it being gone. So, do you have a defunct business?
I mean, look, sure, but I don't mourn the death of these businesses. They needed to go, right?
Yep.
Much like Facebook. Oh,
Toys R Us is one that Toys R Us is one that comes to mind, right? Like it was necessary for that to go away. People just weren't shopping there. But like, you know, I like Tower Records or The Wall or
The Wall. Oh,
absolutely. Right. I miss like, you know, record shops and stuff like that. Do I need any of that stuff? No. Did I ever actually buy anything? Probably not, because
It's just a place to hang out and listen to music for free,
I didn't
right?
need to buy anything from Tower or from the Wall because I would just sign up for another Columbia 6 or 10 CD subscription, and I'll get my 10 CDs and then go, ha, I'm 14.
Come after my credit score. It doesn't exist.
Like, sooner or later, you're going to start tracking by address and not by name, you fool. Right? But, you know, I mean, how many times could a kid do that? The answer is 7 or 8.
A lot.
Yeah, listen to this.
I got like 100 vinyls.
Yeah, I had like 100 CDs. I didn't pay a dime. Like, how is this business viable? So that, you know,
it was the movie pass of its age.
That's right. But look,
unlike Movie Pass, it lasted a lot longer though.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. So there are things that I miss. I don't know if there are specific brands. Jukeboxes at the table in diners, I miss that.
They still have that at one diner that I do frequent in the Allentown area, and I think it's awesome.
It's in Whitehall.
Then the Starlight Diner outside of Trexlertown has it still.
Oh, I remember. Oh my gosh, we're taking a trip down memory lane. Starlight Diner used to be the only place you could get vanilla Coke before they made it a mass product.
Yep,
I used to get it there all the time.
Right, it's silly. But I miss. But you know, I miss that
too.
That is the kind of thing that I'm like, oh, I miss that. There used to be little shops like you know, they'd sell sports cards and candy and slush puppies. I miss slush puppies.
Slush puppies aren't a thing anymore?
No.
It's all the ices. Yeah,
no.
Oh,
yeah, Slush Puppy.
The blue and white. It's blue and white with a dog on the
right, and they had the rotating thing on the top.
I know what you're talking about.
Well, so the shops that I'm talking about, it's usually they would syrup, and then it wasn't like an automatic, and they didn't have 2 flavors. They had 100 flavors.
Oh, you went to a bougie.
Well, it wasn't bougie. It was a really shitty candy store, like buried in a corner of a place somewhere.
Sure.
Would you say they're more of a consistency of like a Slurpee rather than an icy slush puppies?
Or
maybe halfway
like
between.
Shaved ice with a lot of fluid. Like when you only get a snow cone, it starts melting.
But they weren't.
Yeah,
but like that's the thing. They weren't shaved ice. Ices are shaved ice, and like. That's the, like, you suck it up and, like, you get bits of ice in your throat. Slush puppies were not like that.
No, they're like tiny, tiny ice pebbles.
Right.
Like Captain Crunch consistency of pebbles.
It was all amazing. Amazing.
It was the staple at Boy Scout camp. That was the big thing.
And so it's stuff like that where I'm like, man, I could really go for a slush puppy. Like nobody says that, but like that's, you know, every so often I think it. And I'm like,
I guarantee you other people would say I could go for a slush puppy. I'm sure there's someone out there with a craving, Josh.
So that's the kind of stuff. You know, Jinko jeans, bring those back.
Jinko jeans.
They're coming back. Be careful.
That I can
the
make fun
90s
of people.
fashion.
90s fashion is coming back. Pretty soon we'll all be wearing cargo pants again.
Everyone's wearing tie-dye and baggy jeans and dumb stuff in their hair again. It's coming back. Look back at the pictures, y'all. We left it for a reason.
The original slush puppy. I'm looking at. I'm seeing if I can buy.
He's googling slush puppy. Can you get a slush puppy machine for yourself?
Yeah, I think so. Like I'm
go on eBay. I'm sure you can buy.
I'm on the site, so I'm looking at it right now.
I see.
But these are only the 2. Yeah,
I was gonna say I see the 2-bowl flavor, the 2-bowl slush puppy machine.
I want it to give me. Yeah, that's like look at that. Look how much liquid. That's what I want. I want that. It's not like a stupid icy or
slush puppy is still around. They have a website. Can you?
No,
can
I
you
know.
buy a machine
I'm saying.
Hold on. Toys R Us has a website. Let's not say Blockbuster apparently still has a website. It's
Toys R Us. I listen. We can
Josh,
talk about.
I think the closest thing to a slush puppy, by the way, is at Sonic.
Yeah, I don't
probably.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that statement. But if you're going to Sonic, you know, cherry limeade. But you're talking about the ice itself.
No, they have like a mixed drink that kind of reminds me of this.
Okay, I'll check that out. I bought a countertop ice maker that makes this like the Sonic, the Sonic Nugget ice,
right,
not the Bullet, because Bullet ice is bad.
Yes.
This ice is delicious.
Josh, if you want to pose as a retailer, you can go to Slush Puppie's website and get a machine for yourself.
So
Yeah,
we
but is it
LLC
just the chew things.
I don't know. I haven't clicked on Get Slush Puppie yet.
their
unless-
flavors are still all over the place there, Josh.
Unless they have Bahama Mama.
It appears to just be blue raspberry and cherry. They have decreased the amount. Well, hang on. Hold tight.
No, hold on.
Hold tight.
No.
Because there's a whole separate section for flavors. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm looking right now.
Doggone delicious flavors. And we've got...
Yeah, I went through all those. They don't have Bahama Mama in there.
They don't have Bahama Mama, Josh. I think the Bahama Mama has been.
They have a
have it.
neutral
Sunset.
base, which I guess means you can use that and mix in your own flavoring.
Yeah.
So if you've got some Bahama Mama laying around somewhere, you could do that. They got warheads.
Yeah. I might have to buy one of these.
Listen, I mean, I'm pretty sure we can establish that kind of nerd. As
I'm going to say we're going to get an LLC just so you
and you can go ahead and buy your Slush Puppie machine.
get your Slush Puppy machines back.
We'll just do it that way. Going back to Toys R Us, I was in Macy's the other day. Why, you ask? Emergency situation. I normally don't go into Macy's. And they had all of this signage like, come see the new Toys R Us experience, blah, blah, blah. It's like a square. You know how in Best Buy they had like
Store within a store.
the store within a store. That's what it is, but it's like the saddest store within a store ever. It's like the tablet table at Best Buy.
Right.
That's this Toys R Us experience. And I'm like, this is just awful. Why? This is just sad. So, anywho, just my personal story.
Unless we have nothing else for this, I have some points to award for the end of this topic. All right, fantastic. So first off, +2, Brian, for the delightful topic.
Huzzah! Gracias.
And then Josh, +3 for making us laugh so hard with the damn CD themes of the record. That was
Still
I needed a
laughing
good belly
about
laugh.
it.
So very, very good job. Which takes us to you, Mr. Burns.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
Josh is
I
not
have-
proud of the topic he has this week.
I have like basically no awareness of the world outside of my working environment right now. But
All right.
if you two have
I've got a backup one. If you
yeah,
wanna.
if you two have something that is a backup or something that might piss Josh off, well, we can talk about any of that stuff.
I mean, yeah. I found a 3-flavor Slush Puppy machine on eBay, by the way, refurbished, $1,700. Anyway, continue, CJ.
All right, so I gave my amuse bouche. Let me get to the other topic that I had prepared for today, which was, and gentlemen, I've given you a little bit of a heads up so you had some time to hopefully think about it, which is John Wick Chapter 4 comes out today as we're recording. I'm actually going to leave in a little bit to go see John Wick Chapter 4. And the director of John Wick during their press junket was like, I would love to see the Academy Awards recognize stunt work, right? And at the end of the year, award an Oscar to these stunt performers because they are performers and stunt people do a lot of amazing work and they should be recognized for it the same way that a cinematographer gets recognized for it. So my question is, if we were to do retroactively, right, and just say, okay, great, the Academy is going to give an Oscar, right, to somebody who has done great work in stunt work over the last few years, who would you give it to? But I'm going to put some caveats on here just because there's some things that are just blatantly obvious. Jackie Chan gets it immediately. He already has it. He gets a Lifetime Achievement Award for it. He's there, right? Tom Cruise hanging off of planes, doing all his stunts, fine. Tom Cruise is excluded. We already know that he's fantastic. Is there a movie or a performer or someone that you would want to give an Academy Award to for stunt work?
This was very easy for me. So I didn't have to think about this for very long. And I'm glad you brought this up because I've been hanging on to this. This is a very easy topic. So first off, I'll wax poetic while Josh thinks about this and researches Slush Puppie some more. This has been an ongoing debate forever. Why stunt work isn't recognized at the Academy Awards. I submit to you, if the past few years of Oscars have not made it clear to you already, the Academy doesn't know what the fuck they're doing.
Correct.
So they do not give a fuck about what fans and film buffs want. They don't even care what film critics want.
Right.
They are obsessed with trying to capture the attention of Gen Z, and they're not, and they're doing it in all the worst ways. So I could go on and on and on, but the fact of the matter is this is a topic that has been heatedly discussed, and it absolutely should be included in the Academy Awards. And if I were to give it to a movie, because I don't know the stunt crew, to be completely honest, I can look it up very, very quickly, but Mad Max Fury Road deserved an Oscar for stunt work. Period. Fury Road, stunt. Let me get the stunt.
I would give it to at that point, probably the stunt coordinator, right?
The stunt coordinator. Yeah, the stunt coordinator on Mad Max Fury Road was Guy Norris and his team. And here's why. For anyone who has seen Mad Max Fury Road, we all agree it was an amazing film. 2015 it came out. Took the entire film industry by storm because no one was expecting it to be any good. It was so good. It was so much fun for such a simple premise. Right. But it was good because of the stunts. It was good because all of that shit actually occurred. There was actually a guy playing guitar from chains with fire breathing out of the freaking guitar neck. There was actually performers flip-flopping on poles between cars whilst driving. Like, yeah, everything is touched up in CGI, but that was something that, this is a movie that you very easily could have done all of this shit in CGI for just as much money, and you could have been like, oh, we're going to be safe, and it would have looked like crap. But they didn't. They did the work. They hired the right people. There was like Cirque du Soleil people involved because of some of the ridiculous work that needed to be done. And it shows in the film, and it looks amazing. Hands down, that's in the past 10 years, deserves an Oscar for its own. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's a solid call out. Mr. Burns?
I think instead of awarding stunt, what should happen is the Academy should give there should be a category for here's what we were wrong about.
You could fill the entire day.
I know.
Shit.
I know. But no, I think it should be here's what we were wrong about, here's what you were wrong about, here's what everybody was wrong about. Right? So meaning like the Academy was wrong or the film critics are wrong. Everybody's dumb, and this aged like milk type thing. You know what I mean? I think those three categories are something we could use, and they could all be retroactive categories awarded to movies like Mallrats, right? Where absolutely no box office,
yeah,
right, but amazing.
Huge fan appeal, right? Yeah,
hell or high water. I'm just going to I'll put anything Taylor Sheridan in this category. Because that's the kind of thing that, okay, look, movies that could use a stunt award, I'll throw Atomic Blonde in there. I thought Atomic Blonde had amazing fight scenes. I thought Charlize Theron got banged up. Probably not her, but like that, whoever was in that role got fucked up making that movie. And then Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt should get a stunt for his role in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He should receive a role for being a stunt man.
Just because he represented the industry.
He represented the industry very, very well. And may or may not have killed his wife.
So just so she gets credit, Monique Ganderton is Charlize Theron's stunt double on Atomic Blonde.
You've seen Atomic Blonde, right?
I love Atomic Blonde.
And it's funny that we're mentioning two Charlize Theron movies, but that's
I didn't realize.
Whoa! All right, there's a point right there for pointing out that fact.
But that is look, Atomic Blonde. Those fight scenes were brutal and incredibly well choreographed, and it was like it's not it wasn't these over the top martial arts crazy choreography. It was somebody picked up a dresser drawer and like slammed her with it. You know what I mean? Like it was brutal. That's the kind of thing that I'm going to. This movie was, it was compelling. It was fun to watch. And by the way, it looked like, this is some shit that could actually happen from the fight scene perspective.
I will give you one more because I'm sorry to interrupt you, Josh, but it actually has to do with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So I don't want to stray too far.
No, go ahead.
One person who deserves a stunt Oscar more than anybody I could think of is the stunt woman Zoe Bell. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her.
I know who Zoe Bell is.
So she works with Quentin Tarantino a lot. She was the stunt coordinator on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She was the stunt double for Cate Blanchett in Thor Ragnarok. She did stunts on Iron Man 3, The Inglourious Bastards. She was
the Australian in Hateful Eight.
She was the Australian Hateful Eight. And this is what sparks this, and CJ will agree with this. She was the person in Death Proof, the Grindhouse, Quentin Tarantino Grindhouse film Death Proof. She was the one who they strapped to the hood of a car drove 100 miles down a road.
Yeah.
And she did all of that. She is Uma Thurman's stunt double in Kill Bill. She did a lot of work for TV shows. Like this woman is like everywhere, and she's always awesome. She's always badass, but she's always a stunt double. So like she doesn't get a whole lot of recognition.
I agree.
Outside of Quentin Tarantino, where Quentin Tarantino will actually put a camera on her. Most of the things don't, you know? So hands down, she deserves like the Lifetime Achievement Award for stunts.
She had and I said Aussie. She's New Zealand, obviously. She did have a role in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as well. She was the stunt coordinator for the picture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that didn't want Brad Pitt on the set because he killed his wife. But she is amazing. It's funny, like Tarantino. Does he go back to the well for like these actors? And yeah, you know why? Quality. Michael Parks, Sam Jackson, Zoe Bell's another example. Mm-hmm. Quality.
I think quality directors do that all the time. Look at Chris Nolan. Yeah, there's always overlap. Like he always tries a new person here or there, but 90% of the time there's always some sort of overlap between his previous movie and the next movie, because you find someone you like working with, you find someone who is good, you want to keep working with them.
And it's like Sorkin does the same thing, right? There's the Sorkin players. And it's funny, Chris Nolan was on my list because I thought Inception was one of those movies, right? And organizing that spinning room where they're doing the fight scene, the hallway scene. And like there are some shots where it is stunt people and some where it actually is, you know, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It is Tom Hardy, like in those hallways. Like they have, and he is a practical film show. I mean, this stuff for Oppenheimer sounds insane. Right. So, I mean, like you want to talk about someone who's going to value some stunt work and getting that stuff all coordinated, you know, Nolan definitely belongs up there. But yeah, I think to your broader point, and I'll award points in a little bit, like the fact that we go back to some of these same performers, and if you have ever watched any of like the Stuntman Reacts videos on Corridor Digital, which I highly recommend,
those are fun.
And they bring the stunt workers on to talk. You'll see names come up over and over again. Oh yeah, I was in Black Panther. I was in this. I was in that. I was this. I was there. That started here, and you start to see these people reappearing a whole lot, and they make the movies possible. Right? They're like, did you love this movie? Yeah. Okay. Well, to your point, we're not gonna put Brad Pitt, you know, in a dangerous situation. We're going to have somebody else do it. This is how it looks believable. This is how it looks real. And they don't get any recognition. So it's good to see that, you know, we value at least.
Corridor does the same thing with visual effects artists. And those are so interesting, where they just sit on a couch and they're like, hey, let me tell you about this shot and how this shot worked. And let me tell you how he stole things from this movie and put it into this movie. It's like really interesting stuff. Highly suggest good YouTube channel, Corridor. They've been doing it for a decade and a half, though. So.
Yeah. Any other additions before I go for points?
Nope.
Not to my knowledge, no.
All right, so just looking at time, I'm going to stop here and I'm going to start awarding some points, and we're going to see who comes out on here. So real quick, first off, Brian, 2 points for recommending the right movie, right, which is Mad Max Fury Road. Deserves all that one. And then 2 additional points for respecting the artist's name. Right, putting the stunt workers' names out there in front, Googling that, getting that person their recognition. You definitely deserve it. Josh, 1 point for changing the topic to the correct topic that it should have been, which is correcting the Academy's mistakes. You also get 2 points for recommending Atomic Blonde, which is also the right movie.
While you figure that out, speaking of Academy Award things that have aged like old cheese, Crash won Best Picture in 2005. That movie's freaking awful. And Green Book won in 2018. What the hell?
Green Book is amazing.
Yeah, but not Academy Award winner for Best Picture. Amazing.
Yeah, I don't know from what makes an Academy Award winner, but it was an amazing movie.
So, tabulations, looking at the end of this, Josh finishes this episode with 9 points, And then Brian Thornton with 10.
Woo!
So Brian gets that even with removing 2 points for being a jerk, you still come out ahead. So Brian will be the host of the next episode.
I like to live dangerously. I'll be a jerk, whatever. It works. It clearly has worked out in my favor.
So listener, before you leave, anybody that is listening to this, that can hear the sound of my voice right now, that has a connection with Slush Puppie, please get in contact with Josh. We need to make this a reality for him. But other than that, thank you so much for making us your walk around your neighborhood, your drive to work, or whatever it is that you're doing within your life. And we will see you on the next episode.
Well, welcome to the club, 'cause you are that kind of nerd.